So we had a little over 40 applications this year, which is real exciting. So we have a lot of competition. It should be fun. And all 6 colleges are participating with new products and services. So now what? So you're going to build your team. So part of this tonight, if you're looking for new team members, you can potentially meet them here. Attend the workshop series. All the workshops are going to be at this location. And we have the two more workshops next week on Monday and Wednesday. Tonight we're going to be working on research your problem and opportunity, but the next ones will be on your resources and your business model. And you're going to develop your idea plan. I'm going to talk about that a bit later. But essentially that's due March 1st, and that'll be delivered online. And then you're going to develop your rocket pitch. So those go into the finals. They'll end up developing a rocket pitch, and we'll have another workshop for that. So our agenda, so basically the introduction, I'm going to introduce, I think Kevin, you're coming up first. Is that right? Yep. And basically he'll go over what's a good problem, those aspects, have everybody introduce themselves. Then there'll be an activity, brainstorming around the problems. There'll be some team presentations as well. And then we'll talk about next steps toward the end. Are there any questions so far? So I actually had a question earlier where a student said, is tonight about trying to identify a problem, the problems with our solution, or is this something different? Now that was a really interesting question. Nobody's really asked that question before. Tonight is really about understanding if you're solving the right problem for the group that you're trying to help. And that's what you're going to focus on. And when you shake that out, yes, that could potentially be a problem with your solution. It could be a problem with the problem that you've identified. So it was a really interesting question. Let's see. So the idea plan, it's a 2 to 3 page project summary. So a full business plan, if you were to write one, is like 40, 50, 100 pages. It can just be really exhaustive. We don't require a full business plan. We call it an idea plan. We focus on the problem, what you're trying to solve, the opportunity, who you're trying to solve it for, how big is that problem, how many people are having that problem, the solution, how you're going to address it, and the resources, what you need to actually deliver that solution and consistently deliver it and maintain it. And this has to be based on research, not on your opinion. Because your opinion, you can think something. One of the reasons we always say you want to do market research and talk to potential people in that space is to find out if it really is a problem. The problem you think it may be might not really be it. They might say it's really this, which is really going to affect how you deliver your solution. And then we have the Difference Maker Toolkit. We're going to give you part of that tonight, but that'll help you deliver this. And the idea plan is due March 1st. So Kevin, I'm going to hand off to you, but that's where we are tonight in the problem piece. Great. Thank you very much.
How you doing tonight? I'm Professor Kevin. If we haven't met, I teach in the Manning School of Business. So let's walk you through what we're looking at. So tonight, how significant is the problem? So in class, we talk about migraine and a headache problem. A headache problem is exactly what it sounds like. It's a nuisance, but you won't spend money to solve it. So I like to use the example, it's almost gone now, a remote starter for your car. I hate scraping my car because I always lose my gloves. And I'm crying, and my friend's like, why don't you get a remote starter for your car? Anyone have one? See, that's why, the story's losing it because your car comes with it now. I actually saw a guy in my neighborhood, he was scraping his car with a CD case. I actually stopped at the end of his driveway and I'm doing this. He's like, what are you doing? I'm wondering the same thing. I wonder what you're doing. And which band do you use to scrape your car? I said, favorite band to use. And he's like, just keep walking, buddy, okay? So I wanted to leave an extra scraper on his car just because I thought it was funny, but I figured I'd hurt his feelings and stuff. So the next question is, who's affected by it? As David mentioned, sometimes we get it totally wrong. We think it's this group, or there's more than one group that we didn't see. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And why is it important? That's where I want to focus. When I talk to teams and you tell me your idea, I can see the passion in your eyes. This is important to me. And all the best ideas I've seen in this program have that. Tonight, my partner is going to talk a little bit about BioBubbler. When they tell me they went to Haiti and they saw this, they saw people who didn't have proper drinking water, and they put on the side 700,000 people a year die from this. And they can solve it. You know what I said? Here's your check. It was over. I mean, that's powerful. Well, last semester we saw Neuralize. So they're making devices that will go in helmets to measure the impact of getting hit. If you follow sports now, that's a major concern for football. A lot of people having children now, they won't let their children play sports because of that. So that's important. Unfortunately, last term we saw QBEL. So they told me a story about how their grandfather was waiting in the waiting room and they were concerned that if something happened. So they built a device for hospitals that patients, when they're waiting to be seen, can hold that and it will measure their vitals. This got really real last week. You may have saw it in the news, at one of the hospitals, someone died in the waiting room. That's important. When you say, why is that important to solve? There's your answer right there. So that's what makes it personal. Let's go on. So we just talked about this. It matters to you. I haven't seen any ideas come to a difference maker that didn't have this. You're talking about things that personally happened to you. It made a difference to you. So we were talking, and I wanted you to share your personal story with me. Why does this matter to you? Tell me how you got here. That's what's powerful to me, the why behind it. I have people that tell me about ideas, I'm like, I'm not hearing it, I'm not hearing the passion. You're gonna do this until something better comes along. But when I hear, this made a significant difference in my life, I know you're in for the long haul. So that definitely helps and stuff. So let's keep going. So this shows you all the different categories that you can try to win money on. Most of you, social impact. That's the one we already talked about, BioBubbler. That's the one that's going to make the difference. Obviously, first to market, but usually it's lifestyles. I see a lot of ideas around financial literacy. That's important to me personally. Ideas around anxiety and depression on campus. Unfortunately, I lose students every semester. They drop my class in the middle because of anxiety and depression. If you have a way to solve that, I definitely want to talk to you about it because I want to solve that one. So, thanks. Yes, this is one of my partner switches off and stuff. Because he gets mad when I do all the slides and stuff. So.
Perfectly happy to do all those things.
Thank you, everyone.
Glad I got to sit back and eat more of the food out there.
That's right.
So I'm Tom Wilkes. I'm a teaching professor in computer science, and I'm aiding my wonderful partner here with presenting the problem solutions from previous years. And hopefully you can learn from the way they did it, because they all won awards through Difference Maker. Okay, so first we'll talk about BioBubbler just a bit. Kevin talked about that briefly, and basically they, as Kevin mentioned, personally went to Haiti and saw this problem and its existence. And this is their problem definition. Here's the statistics that they include. That is actually very important. And Kevin mentioned the market research part where basically if you have determined a problem, but maybe only 10 people in the world are affected by it, it's still worth solving, but you're probably not going to rake in a lot of cash to solve that problem initially. But if you can show that it's a huge problem that affects a number of people, a large number, then this is something that you will get assistance in solving. So we've underlined, the statistical aspects here. So after you've defined your problem, you should do the research to show that this is actually a problem that affects a lot of people. And as mentioned before, you need to talk to people who are affected by this problem to make sure you're on the right track. And maybe they will say, well, that's good that we actually have this problem that is somewhat different from what you just defined, and maybe you can revamp what you were doing for that. Okay, so basically the rule is be specific in the definition of your problem and show the evidence that this is a problem worthwhile solving. Okay, let's go to the next. So next I'm going to talk about QBEL. Kevin mentioned that as well, and personal experience about that here locally. And QBEL was basically inspired by the fact that in hospitals, nurses and other medical professionals are overwhelmed by alarms that are happening. If you've ever been like in an ICU or even a regular ward within the hospital, you'll know that there's constantly alarms going off everywhere within that. And basically, if you're a patient in there, you're not going to sleep, but the hard problem is it's overwhelming the medical professionals too. And they've observed a lot of problems that come from that, like giving out the wrong drugs to patients and so forth. So the problem was that they wanted to solve was the overwhelming amount of alarms. And we're not talking about solutions here tonight, but they came up with a wonderful solution for that. So David, if you want to show the video. So we're going to see the YouTube video of their pitch to the judges. So about the first minute and a half, 2 minutes is the problem definition, and then we'll stop there because then they go into the solutions.
We will be presenting on our product, QBEL. I'm Stephanie Wilson, a nursing student. I'm Teresa Fullerton, also a nursing student. And we have Meg Yo and Adriana Kellos, 2 other nursing students.
And my name is Jeremy Arzuega. I'm a computer science student. We also have Vivian Chow and Gaga, who also has a business and marketing degree.
So by a show of hands, how many of you have ever been to a hospital and felt overwhelmed by the number of lights going off? A few of you, okay. So nurses work in this environment on a daily basis, which puts them at an increased risk for developing alarm fatigue. Alarm fatigue is when someone becomes desensitized to frequent alarms. And we found that nurses who experience this are 3 times more likely to commit an error. So this could be a medication error. It could be the wrong med, the wrong dose, the wrong route, and any of these could potentially be fatal to a patient. Alarm fatigue also decreases reaction time, which in turn affects patient satisfaction. And all of this compromises patient safety, which could also harm the nurse and the facility. So all the nursing students work in hospitals in the area. We conducted our own survey. We asked 68 nurses and aides to take our questionnaire, and we found that the majority of the participants felt like they do experience alarm fatigue. They have problems prioritizing care. They are often overwhelmed and distracted by the call-ins. Right now, the current call-bell system in place is flawed. So this picture on the bottom left is the TV remote, and the red button at the top is how patients call for help. So we believe that this is not user-friendly for all of our patients. It does not help nurses or aides prioritize care. It doesn't tell them what the patient wants, and frankly, it's out-of-date technology.
Okay, so we're going to stop now because they have segued into describing the solution. And that's another workshop. Okay. One thing I wanted you to notice as well, besides the problem description, was that they are an interdisciplinary team. And that is very big with the judges. If you have multiple colleges or departments participating in your project, you get more points for doing that rather than just being solo, for example. Okay, so our next problem that we're going to present is what's called the CAT mat, and it is not a welcome mat for cats, but instead CIT stands for Community Ambulatory Training, and basically the problem that they had noticed was that patients who are recovering from surgery on their limbs or similar things need to have physical therapy, but within the hospital or therapy office environment, they only have smooth surfaces like the floors in here on which to practice. But they will also need to navigate on real uneven terrain like streets or fields and so forth. But taking them outside and having them walk down the street while they're doing their therapy is very dangerous, so not advisable. So having identified that problem, they came up with a solution for it, which you will see them handing out parts of this material during the problem aspect. But let's hear them talk about the solution, or the problem.
All right. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Malu, and I'm Katie Muse. We're both physical therapy graduate students, and today we're here to talk to you about the Community Ambulation Tool Mat, also known as the CAT-mat. So physical therapists are movement experts, and abnormality of gait, or a person's manner of walking, is one of the primary impairments that we treat. Currently, there is no lightweight, cost-effective, easy-to-use device that therapists can use to train patients to successfully ambulate in the community or walk outside. We have been studying in this field for 6 years and have experienced this problem firsthand. We know there is a need for a better gait training device. We surveyed UMass Lowell PTs and PTs practicing in the surrounding area. 100% responded that patients would benefit from gait training on uneven terrain. However, 77% said they found it challenging to simulate this terrain, and 74% said that was due, in part, to a lack of functionally accurate simulation devices. The AirX Balance Pad is the most comparable product on the market. It is a foam balance pad that cannot simulate an outdoor environment and patients cannot walk on, and is therefore not a solution to this problem. We also researched common diagnoses associated with gait impairments, and the incidence number per year was staggering, with traumatic brain injury ranking in over 250,000 per year and ankle sprains well over 1 million. DTs are treating these patients every single day, and with insurance constantly tightening the purse strings, we want to get patients better, quicker, faster.
Okay, so again, we stop before they start describing their solution in detail. But you'll notice they not only describe the problem itself and the large number of people who are affected by it, but also talked a bit about the opportunity that was involved because the current solutions that are out there do not address basically the problem that they have. Okay, so that's the 3 projects that we wanted to talk about. There are many more projects that you can look at on the YouTube collection, and I think we have other resources for different Maker Pass projects as well.
Yep.
Okay, but YouTube is a good place to start.
Yep, we're going to. All right, so here's the rules, okay? So we have the team leader. You got to introduce yourself, name, major, year in school, state the problem your team wants to solve. Do you need additional teammates to solve that problem? If so, who do you need? We're talking skills and expertise, and persuade potential team members to join your team tonight. If you're a team member, you just got to introduce yourself and your major. And if you're here today to find a team to join, there's your rules. Introduce yourself and talk about what type of team you want to join. So, we got a mic?
Yep, we'll pass.
Start right in front here. Please just speak loud. I do wear hearing aids, so help me out. Thank you.
All right, so I'm Zach Richard. I'm a freshman. I'm a marketing major, and for our, I'll introduce my team member.
Hi, I'm John Carosa. I'm also a freshman and in business administration, concentration in management.
All right, so our problem is drug addiction. Well, we're trying to make an app that you can overcome your drug addiction without having to go to like a center or do anything like very rash. We need a lot of computer engineers, definitely people that can help us make the app, and people that are good at researching, preferably health sciences, biology too, anything like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're good. That's the mic. Keep going.
Hello, good evening. My name is Dylan Roy. I am a mechanical engineering major with Mirrored Image, and this is my friend.
And I'm Eamon O'Kane, freshman electrical engineer.
So for our issue, we have seen, well personally we've seen the impact that the oil-based engineering, I guess the impact that, like the oil forward infrastructure that is set in place right now. We've seen how that has caused a lot of conflict, and we are super for sustainability. So what we're trying to do is capture some of the sunlight that comes off of solar panels, because we're losing so much energy every single day, and with these huge, vast solar fields that helped a lot. But we're gonna keep pushing, try and get more, go green for more.
What do you need for team members, bud?
For team members, we're looking for, actually not necessarily team members, rather we're looking for informed advisors. So people who are in industry or have connections in industry that we can bounce ideas off of or can give us constructive input.
Got it. Cool. Thanks, man.
All right. My name is Tyler. I'm a senior computer science student here. I'm the team leader of Socotech Solutions. We are focusing on the lack of privacy-oriented smart home solutions in the current market. Right now, we're kind of full on teammates. We don't really have any extra spaces open, but if anybody does want to help advise us, like their team, we'd be definitely open for that. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm a grad student currently at computer science. And I'm from the team research club. So the problem that we're trying to solve is basically we feel that the research ecosystem is somewhat broken. So the collaboration in research space is pretty difficult right now. So you have, like, let's say I have a project investigator and I'm working under her, and then we have to communicate using, let's say, Slack, and then we are doing a literature review and annotations over at Notion or Google Doc, which is a pretty hacky solution. They are not meant for it, but we just make it work around. Then there is no place where we can basically, let's say, keep, there is no resource management and for how the project is going, what we are working on. So it has to be in-person sync. So there is no dedicated software that provides this, tries to fix this particular problem. And it's been like since undergrad we have been, like me and my teammates are outside of college, but we have been like doing research since undergrad, and we have like, it's been 6-7 years and we have been consistently facing the same issues over and over again. No one has come forward to try to fix it. So,
Okay. Now, do you need any resources before you pass the mic? Just respectfully, please just keep it to 1 minute. We're just trying to get through the room, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, we would want to have front-end engineers on our team, so that's what we're looking for.
Good.
Hi, good evening, guys. My name is Kelly Kimberly from Canada. I'm a sophomore mechanical engineering student. My project is a engineering filter for large bodies of water that their purpose is to kind of cure and mitigate harmful algae blooms. Over the years, data has shown that harmful algae blooms are costing the tourism, fishing, and just general water industry billions of dollars because they have not found an effective solution yet to mitigating those issues. At the moment, we're focused on blue-green algae, which is a really toxic cyanobacteria algae, but we're open to other harmful algae blooms. Skills that I'm looking for, anyone who's kind of well-knowledge on engineering processes, a lot of chemical processes and biological processes. I'm also looking into finding people with marketing skills and so on. But yeah, that.
Okay, I have a question first. So I have like 2 teams. My question is, if you've already kind of like established one idea in your initial submission, are you allowed to like redirect to something different?
So you want to switch your idea potentially in the middle?
Second idea, yeah.
Yeah,
Or is that allowed?
we're getting an official ruling right now.
I would suggest if it's a pivot, that's appropriate. If it's a completely different thing, that I'm not sure.
It's a better thing that I didn't know.
Is this
It could be a pivot. It's a pivot. All right, I'll do the first thing. So I'm Sandy. I'm the team captain of Zipper Buddy. The problem that I'm solving, major. I'm a liberal arts major. I'm a senior. The problem that my team's solving is that to use a zipper, it requires the use of both hands and full function of both body parts. For people with mobility issues, this is complicated and can create like unnecessary struggle, and people lose independence and have to rely on others. And it's my solution is to give people back their dignity. We could use additional teammates who are good with like technical writing skills, who can kind of do like back end stuff. Graphs, maybe, things like that. I've been making them all in Adobe, and I feel like there's no more efficient way to do that. I already said the problem. What are my skills? I'm interdisciplinary. I do graphic design, I do web design, I'm in psychology and art concentrations, yeah. So, skills that I need. Oh, okay. I was like, why am I talking about my skills? All right, I already did that, so that's done. For the second idea, we'll come back to that.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Josh Landis. I am a graduate mechanical engineering student, graduating in 2024, hopefully. So the problem that I want to solve is
salt and chloride ingress into concrete structures, or the initial ingress of salt into structures by shoddy contractors. This is such a huge problem that in Turkey last year, about 52,000 people died in the span of a few minutes during the earthquakes in structures that weren't rated for these specific types of earth movements. A lot of this can be caused by chloride ingression and salt ingression, very much like the ingression that's happening to the roadways and bridges that we have on our street right now that you just crossed. So I wanted to develop a method for testing for this ingress in a cheap and deployable manner, and that's why I invented SparkCell. It is a spark emission spectrometer that I built for radically cheaper than anything else on the market. So I'm looking for people who can take statistical data from spectra that I've taken and be able to display it in a more human usable manner. Somebody who knows Swift really well would be fantastic. And as far as mentors, I'm looking to apply for a very specific civil engineering grant program called Everyday Counts. It's a rapid testing grant program, and I'm looking for assistance for applying to it as an organization rather than an individual. Thank you.
So if anyone here knows anything about Enable, we're a club that makes assistive devices primarily for people with upper limb differences. I'm currently the design captain as of last semester. So what I'm doing here is trying to make things a lot cheaper and more accessible for people with these differences. So if you're someone who has a difference, someone who knows how to help with this problem, or engineers in general, I could use your help, but maybe one or two teammates. And as far as what I'm thinking about, the device itself is going to be a kiosk. You'd insert your limb, and it would take a scan. That 3D scan would be sent back to somebody who's a professional, who's going to make sure that the AI-generated negative for the mold is good to go. And then in the mail, you'll receive a prosthetic/assistive device that fits you perfectly.
I have my 1 minute. So I'm Matt Baldrick. I'm a PhD candidate in the electrical engineering department. The team that we have for the difference maker is EDUX. So the problem that a lot of students have, and a lot of faculty members definitely know about this problem, is that degree scheduling is manual across universities, and about 67% of students are graduating later than they anticipated. They anticipate to graduate in 4 years and they're graduating in 5 or 6 years. EDUX solves the problem. We suggest classes that students should be taking that are not offered at their host university, whether it's an online class or classes offered at another university, so that students fulfill prerequisites, they fulfill classes on time, so they can graduate and hit that 4-year or under mark. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Alex Barchek. I'm the team leader for RC Instruments. I'm a business major, I'm a senior, and the problem that we're trying to solve is a gap in the market for Twyman Green interferometers. They're used by defense contractors mainly, and they are used to calibrate optics used in satellites. And a lot of the ones that are out there right now, as some of my team members are working in the industry, are not as technologically advanced as they could be, or as versatile as they could be, which causes a lot of money loss. And the industry is expanding, so there's a lot more satellites going up because of the U.S.'s new satellite plan, and there's new startups, especially in Massachusetts. There's a couple that are new contractors that have won bids for government contracts for this type of thing. So the market's expanding, and there's not enough people producing these interferometers for businesses to use. We're looking for maybe one more comp sci person to do some image processing stuff as part of our system, and that's about it. Thank you.
I'm David. I'm a plastics grad student. I got my bachelor's here for mechanical. I think I saw Neil, he's also in our group, and my buddy Mason couldn't be here tonight, but he's also in the group. We're looking to solve why a lot of people skip breakfast or just meals in general. Most people say it's because they don't have time, and especially students who live off campus in an apartment, they don't have their parents to cook for them. So we're looking for a way to get people to eat breakfast without wasting time that they claim that they don't have. We already have enough engineers for designing, but we could use a business major to help us lead business-wise and help us that way. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Hannah Hodzik, and I'm a junior mechanical engineering major. I'm with the Soundwaves team, and we are looking to solve the problem of the lack of information from live music to artists and bands to the venues. There's a really cool venue down the street from our university that a lot of people don't know about. And on the other side of that, the venue is in need of audience members and more people to come see the shows, as well as the bands want people to share their music with. So Soundwaves is looking to make a one-stop platform to have all that information on both ends, not just on the artists, as it typically can be found, but on the venues as well, and location and other information that could be found useful and interesting to that. So I'm looking for computer science majors for assistance in developing the app or website itself, as well as some people skilled in marketing or even music business would help with that.
Alright, so I'm Alex. I'm a computer science major. I'm a freshman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jin Mei. I'm a data science major, and I'm a junior currently.
And we have one other teammate. She's at Harvard currently for political science. But essentially, who here is currently in debt or student loans? So essentially, our idea of our project is to help solve this issue. So our project is called Financior. It's financial literacy. We're basically teaching others on how to. Alright, well, we're teaching others basically how to manage their finances, how to invest, how to have good monetary skills, and essentially, basically, when they're getting older, how to increase their monetary value and their savings so that they're in a great financial spot to make the decisions and make the income to basically just have financial freedom that they want.
Hi, I'm Gavin Alexander. I'm a chemist and I'm a senior here. Basically, the idea I'm trying to solve is the idea of vertical axis wind turbines and their place in the market right now. Right now, they're kind of like starting to see like a new trend in the use of vertical axis wind turbines, and that they are being looked at in urban areas because they can handle more turbulent winds. And what that kind of leads to is like at home use. And at home, you're trying to save space. So my idea is generally to combine the idea of photovoltaics and wind turbines into one. So I want to like make blades that are made using flexible solar cells and package it all into one, so that you have a compact solution that like makes up for the fact that vertical axis isn't always as effective. And yeah, that's basically my idea. I think my team's pretty much full right now, but I would love any advice on this issue.
Hello everyone. Sam. We, as NEA, are developing a patent pending technology with MIT that turns emotions into sounds. Now this has very prominent potential, but the most promising one would be the healthcare. Every one of us has experienced stress at some point, and just imagine this AI can detect your emotion and let you know how you feel, then play sound in order to reduce your cortisol levels. I'll be looking for marketing personnel and more back-end developers in order to combine these two together. Thank you.
We have everybody, what we're going to do now is, before we can give you time to just talk with each other. If there's anybody who thinks that they know people who might want to join a team, if you want to reach out to those teams and say, hey, I know someone, or if there's a team, I think everyone here is on a team already, so there's nothing everyone's searching specifically here. And before we go to our next activity, before we go do that, I'd just like to introduce Diego King, who I mentioned earlier. He's here, and we have another faculty fellow here, John Palmer, from electrical engineering over there. Thank you both for coming and helping out tonight. And I'm going to pass this back over to Kevin. So basically, they can just, you can do the thing. Spend about 5 minutes just talking with the other teams.
Yeah, so like I said, as Dave mentioned, there's nobody here looking for a team tonight, but you all heard the challenges each one of you is facing. So spend a few minutes chatting. Maybe you know somebody who can join the team. Maybe you have some advice for each other. So spend a few minutes doing that, okay? Thank you. Okay. All right, just grab your attention again for a sec. So let's just walk you through what we want to do now. So as you can see right here, what we want you to do is work with the people at your table. Use them as a sounding board. Hey, I heard what you're looking for, I heard your idea. Now let's work together to try to help each other advance our ideas, okay? We'll give you some time to work on this. Okay, so we want to just move on now. You ready, everyone? So we added the rest of the slide, as you can see. You're going to take 10 minutes to do the toolkit problem. Clearly state the problem you want to solve. Discuss who you think's impacted by it. The conversation at the table may change your mind. You may find out that there's other people. I was talking to you before we started, and we spoke about how venues want your idea too. It's a great way to help them on slow nights. So it's things like that. As you tell your story to someone, they hear it, they see it from their eyes, and they give you advice. So you want to go forward. How many people? You're going to have to probably look that up. Who's affected by it? And how important is it to solve this problem? Often at this point, when we're talking about the ideas, you step back and go, it wasn't big enough to solve. It was a problem, but like we talked about, if you're going to turn this into a business, it needs to be a revenue stream too. So sometimes we find out just not big enough to solve. And why is it important? Please spend the next 10 minutes working on that. Thank you. All right, everybody, just have your attention again. So we're gonna spin this just one more time, okay? All right, so this is what we want to do. We're gonna pass the mic around. Now that you've had time to talk to people at your table, did you learn anything that you didn't think about? Were your assumptions valid? Did anyone suggest something that you should consider as you go forward, okay? Gonna pass the mic around just one quick minute, and then we'll finish it up from there, okay? All right.
Yeah, so I was talking with Sandy over there about like more government group text that kind of went off of our idea. So definitely taking that into consideration, seeing what they did, seeing what didn't work, will definitely help us.
So I've been talking to my friend Gavin over here, and we have just been talking a little bit about photovoltaic cells. And he actually brought up a really great point about how the reflection of our light into our photovoltaic chambers could actually be enabled to have higher yields with prisms and splitting wavelengths and the wavelengths, I guess, of that light. There you go.
Yeah, I was talking to these guys about my idea. It was just fun, just like going over my idea again, trying to bounce some thoughts, like just get them settled down on paper.
What's what you learned from talking to the friends?
I had fun.
Whoops.
So yeah, it made like the conversation I had with people on my table made me revisit a lot of assumptions that I had about the problems that might be faced. So ideal is basically it's the subjectivity of the whole we trying to fix the let's say the research process is turning more upon it that it's much more subjective based on the group you have and everything. So we're trying to get something to explore on, I think.
Speaking with Avi, we kind of talked about the market that my product would kind of target and kind of the important things and strategies that I should keep in mind when, let's say, if this project is plausible and it makes its way through, how I would advertise it and what markets I would go into and who I would target. But yeah. Good.
So at this table, we talked about our many problems that we have and our solutions to said problems. We talked a little more in detail about the idea that we kind of tweaked a little bit. So it's not fully solidified quite yet, but we're definitely making some progress there. So it's looking pretty good. Good at this table.
I learned that having a 5 to 10 kilovolt discharge right next to your fingers might be somewhat unsafe. So SparkCell is considering the implementation of a sticker, danger no touch.
I learned why a lot of people might skip parent visits because Sam told me he doesn't have time sometimes. He'd rather sleep in an extra 20 minutes. And I have definitely been down that road, and I'm sure many of you have this week. So that's the main.
So things I've learned, I talked a lot about the market that had the problems that I'd be serving, and I learned a little bit about how to look at that market.
What did you learn from? Investor attractiveness. How to make your company a little more attractive to investors.
Discussing with Professor P about the problem that I'm trying to solve, and he brought up a lot of interesting points about redefining the problem statement with the rescheduling and sort of who the service is sort of targeting. So, while discussing with him, I got a lot of points about not only is it a service for students about graduating on time, but it's a university problem as well. Universities want to graduate students in 4 years, so if it's a big enough problem, you need to really redefine how you do it and who exactly you're targeting.
So I talked to the people at my table and reached a conclusion that my problem summary / problem statement needed a little bit more refinement and clarity. So I decided that obtaining and maintaining assistive devices is costly.
So good evening, my name is Rahul, and I want, we never met before. I'm sorry to take, I'm going to take more than 1 minute. Yes, thank you, yes. Just today after you all go home, just think, US we have a lot of, today, when we are living today, we know that all waste is going to be segregated properly, or it will end up somewhere properly, it will be distributed or disposed properly. There are many countries where nothing exists. It's just a pile, it's just a dump site, it's just a legacy site, legacy waste site. So the whole point is picking that up, bring it to a place, convert it, and basically I don't want petroleum to be the source of energy. I want waste to be the next source of energy. This is the whole point. And to reach it, I need all of your help. So whenever you have some time, my name is Rahul Ramkumar, drop a mail, please talk. I've been talking to a lot of people, and it's just clearly evident that it's heavily capital run model. Even if I'm not generating revenue, I have to put in ton and ton of money. So help me, that's all.
Alright, so for our project of financial literacy, we were talking and we kind of had these ideas in the beginning, but we decided to kind of go more into it. So with international relations of expanding the project, we could have translation teams, which essentially translates our resources to other languages that could reach the language barriers of other countries to go international. And why not target, or why restrict the demographic of just younger people? We could try to tailor towards an older audience of people who may be struggling with financials by maybe going on the news or something like that. So these are other aspects of different demographics we get into.
I spoke with these gentlemen at this table and they brought up a lot of good points. Richard mentioned that a lot of venues might have 18 plus nights or 21 plus nights, and maybe there are some students that assume that maybe this venue is only over 21, so they don't bother checking it out. But that would be something worth specifying and making clear through this platform.
I was talking to everybody at this table about specifically how to reach the people that we want to help with this issue. Educating with schools and with a website that shows source code and stuff like that, as well as the specific parts that you need to address when addressing this issue.
So I thought that was helpful to be able to get feedback from each other. But the next step is to go out and test your assumptions. I can tell you as an entrepreneur, we skip this because we think we're really smart. We do. We're like, oh, this is a brilliant idea. I don't want no one to steal it, so I'm going to go do it right now. And then you're going to regret it because you're going to miss so many things. If I only would have taken the time to talk to potential customers, that's the key. They have to be potential customers. Hey, here's my idea. Does this make sense to you? And you have to listen. If you're talking to 100 people and 85 of them tell you it's not a good idea, they're probably right. Don't get discouraged if 1 or 2 don't like it, but if the majority of people are coming back saying the same flaws, you need to listen and think about the idea. How can we change it to make it work? So we're passing out some worksheets now that you'll use to go out and talk to your potential customers as we go into the next workshop.
So if you want, so basically we're going to give you a few minutes to just kind of review these, but we want you to think about going to do some secondary market research, which is stuff like the library, where you can find out more about your customer base. To help formulate questions, you go out and talk to those primary market. The primary market research is when you actually go and speak to people. That's research that you're doing yourself. Okay, and that's what these sheets will help with, because you'll see like paste the problem target, and then it talks about formulating questions down at the bottom, how things are currently being done, and you want to use that when you formulate those questions. So we'll give you a few minutes for that. Are there any questions before we go to the next step? Probably like 5 minutes we'll give you just to kind of review the sheets. If you have questions, keep doing what you're asking, and then we'll wrap up. All right? If I can have your attention, please. So it looks like there's a lot of good networking, a lot of good information sharing. And okay, cool, everyone. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of good information sharing, networking. Are people getting good questions or thinking about the research they're going to do? So take this worksheet. We'll be emailing you all the information tomorrow. You'll get electronic copies of everything. Are there any questions for me or for any of the Difference Maker Fellows? As far as we talked about sort of pivoting an idea, if you're solving the same problem, you're just going to solve it differently, that's perfectly understandable. All right. So let's talk about some next steps here. So remember, talk to your peers, you can talk to me, come down to Difference Maker Central, additional teammates, which some of you are. You can go to our TeamMaker platform, you can go to the Idea Challenge, UML.edu Idea Challenge. You click the TeamMaker link and you view a list of students who are looking to be on teams. So that's another way to go. And you can also put signs up in hallways. You can ask anyone here tonight who knows of a bunch of teams said they're looking for other members. You could actually have mentioned that, hey, there was some Difference Maker teams at the workshop the other night looking for people. Get on the Difference Maker website, or maybe you can mention the team to them, or what have you. So come to the Difference Maker workshop series. So we got the 26th, the 28th, and the 14th. So the 14th will be mandatory for people that are going to the preliminaries. The 26th and 28th of next week, it'll be much like this. We're going to get more into the assessing the value proposition, the opportunities. That sheet will help more with that. And then next Wednesday, we'll be developing the business models and solutions. And you'll want to be at both of those. We also have we're going to be passing out a survey for tonight. It's an anonymous survey, if you can fill it out. We'd appreciate it just to get some feedback. But again, food will be served. We'll have guest speakers. And these are some of our important dates. So tonight, we're preparing for the idea plan, which is due on the 1st. And then on the 12th, we're going to go through those. We're going to have people read them and review them and score. And then the winners will be announced online with email and social media. And then on the 27th, this is important. If you're a preliminary team, on the 27th, you're going to have a chance to do a revised idea plan. And but you're going to have, that'll be optional. If you want to do, you're going to have to do a PowerPoint and a poster for that event. If you didn't make it as a finalist in the preliminaries, that'll be after. So all that stuff was you needed to go to the preliminaries. Okay, not the revised idea plan, that's just helpful for you. But the poster and the PowerPoint are there. And on April 3rd, we have the preliminary pitch-off. And you'll know if you're in that after the meeting goes on, after the announcements. And then April 10th, 10 of those teams at the preliminaries will be going to the finals. And everyone who goes to the finals is guaranteed at least $2,000. If you don't make it as a finalist team, you are eligible for fan favorite, where you have a poster and people will vote if they like your team as they go around, and you can pitch to each person. And let's see here. Before the 26th, make sure you register for the events next week and run workshop 2. And complete the toolkit, problem and target market opportunity. Before then, talk to those 10 people. And we're going to want to hear what information you might have had as you spoke to more people who aren't in this room. And then March 1st, the idea plan due. Any questions? And as you work, remember the judges want to see research and data. They want to understand what it'll take to solve the problem and implement your solution. Could I have everyone's attention, please? Thank you. And as you go through the workshops and process, this will help you with your idea plan. And feel free to come down to Difference Maker Central, ask us questions. You can email me. You can, Dave, well, I can give you my email after, but if you email differencemaker@uml.edu, ask for me. And I think my email address, here's my email address right there too. So if you have any questions, you can email me directly. But Difference Maker's fine, just have a question for Dave and they'll forward it to me. All right, and I can also give you help with Qualtrics, which is a survey platform. A lot of students use SurveyMonkey, which for surveys, but if you want to kind of get into those advanced features, download data, you have to pay for it. Qualtrics is included in your tuition. And you can download all kinds of data, do fancy surveys if you want, and everything's included in your tuition. We can work through your idea a little bit more if you have questions. You could also learn about IBIS World, which is a market research tool, also included in your tuition. And any other types of market research things you need. So we passed out the evaluation form. You can fill that out before you leave. And I'll be sticking around if you have questions. And have a wonderful night. Are there any questions that is relevant to everybody? All right. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Hopefully see you next week. Thank you.